Hello folks, thanks for joining me today. We're doing a ride on the Katy Trail from Matson to Augusta. The temperature's great, the wind's great. There was rain earlier in the day, so you'll see the trail is wet. Every now and then there are puddles. Sometimes there's some mud. Certainly I'm getting a lot of stuff thrown up on the bike from the trail by the tires. There's a fair amount of bicycle and foot traffic on the Katy Trail today. Speaking of bicycles, it's okay, most of the riders were pleasant. The trail is fairly flat. I think 374 feet is the elevation. Well, it's the change in elevation. But that's for a longer run. For much of this section of the Katy Trail, we're alongside the Missouri River, so there's a lot of creeks and streams that feed into the Missouri River, and therefore there's a lot of bridges that cross over those. There's wineries, residences, various businesses along the trail, so I'll have to cross over some various roads and drives and things. Some places on the trail have, we'll call it a forest canopy over the trail. It almost looks like grayscale there. Other places are much more open, like that section of the field, back a little bit. The trailheads may seem like they're a distance off, but often there's a road on one side or the other of the trail that you can see or hear. So you're not really that far away from anything, no matter how isolated this looks. It's not the middle of the forest. Now the trail is great for the communities through which it passes. A lot of businesses get a lot of business from this trail. Some of them actually face the trail as maybe their primary source of business. And they're not turning anyone else away, it's just the front of their building is toward the trail for some of them. And without the trail, I don't know that they'd survive. But there's a lot of other businesses along the trail as well. Yeah, the bike shops are a good example. Without this trail, I don't think the bike shops could exist along here. But there are bike shops that work on bikes, that rent bikes, various things along the trail. There's other things. In a little bit of this section, there's some live concerts as we get toward Defiance in a little bit. Actually, I say that, but I'm not entirely sure. Defiance might be behind us. A lot of biker bars and things in Defiance. I can't remember the name of the street, if it's 19 or 15 or whatever it is. It comes down there. It's a twisty, turning road, and the motorcycles and sports car people love driving that. I think it'd be 94, but whatever it is. Get on 94 in Weldon Spring and ride out to Washington, Missouri. It's a very nice ride. It's a good fall drive. The only problem with that particular drive is that some people can't handle it. They're driving along at 10 to 15 miles an hour. Speed limit maybe 35, but yeah, they just hold up traffic. They should be either not on the road or maybe having somebody else drive them. This is just beautiful along in here. Now this particular camera has a propensity for having washed out video, as you can see, and that's unfortunate. Other than that, and the short battery life, I like the camera. Bridges on this trail. Yes, the Katy Trail intersects with other roads very often. Actually, it intersects with a lot of other trails. And of course, I'm all about the adventure, so sometimes I go explore those trails to see where they go. I want to see, is there an adventure to be had down that trail? I could say that was limited to just the Katy Trail, but no, pretty much if I see a trail, I'm curious where it goes. And some of them are teasers or duds, but well, you're just hanging out, you know, into something interesting, at least for a while. trails, including the, well, I guess we won't talk about that particular thing, but a lot of the trails, they just dump you in nowhere. I mean, it's like, why does it end here? I mean, just for no particular reason, it ends, and you're like, oh, yeah, it's a pretty unceremonious ending, which is unfortunate. You know, you'd like it to, the trail to actually take you somewhere. Be like, oh, this was really good. There's some kind of purpose of going down this trail. You know, some of them, they just, oh, you want a trail? There's a trail. I don't understand that. The trail should go somewhere. Yeah, that noisy Mustang from earlier was parked there. That is the Missouri River. Got some pictures for you. Side bridge, or that's just a barrier there. This is the bridge. I don't know why my camera wouldn't set level. It's tilted one way or tilted the other way. There's some interesting rocks here. See that arch over there, kind of in the middle? It's very interesting. I guess it was natural. I'm sure I miss a lot of things. And some things I see but don't necessarily stop for or mention. Look at the vegetation. It's nice. It just looks like you're just, you know, some total isolated area, but it's not. A lot of traffic today. I don't know why the picture looks so gray here. Photography and videography are not really my strong suits. As you can tell, I don't know a whole lot about them. I'm sure there's camera settings that could be changed to make this better. As the trail unfolds, you come around turns and things, and just things that are distantly right up to them. You never know what you're going to encounter. And in one of these Katy Trail videos, I had a big surprise. It wasn't a bad surprise or anything, it was just a surprise. Something unexpected. Now, in others of these videos, sometimes there's oddities where you're like, what the heck is that? And I'll point some of those things out in the videos as we come to them. Now, these Katy Trail videos are meant to be used with, while you ride your stationary bike or you run on a treadmill or something like that. Or you don't want, like, a movie that necessarily you want, something to do with what you're doing. You could easily be, running or biking or anything like that. And, of course, you can mute the audio if you don't want to hear me ramble. Lots of different types of vegetation along this trail. Yeah, sometimes I'm just riding along, maybe just kind of paying attention to the bike or a little bit my own thoughts. Other times I'm paying really close attention. I see a little bit of mud there. Obviously people have ridden through it. Now I have too. Some portions of the trail, they have these warnings telling you, not to stop. I guess they're worried about rocks falling on you or anything. Because apparently rocks don't fall on moving people. river again. Some of these plants, I'm not sure what they are, but some of them kind of look like ferns, fern fronds. Just the fern part, I'm not sure about the rest of the plant. Obviously I didn't stop. It's mighty tall. The ferns. The sky's pretty nice too, if you happen to pay attention to that on this ride. The trail is not actually that washed out in person. It's not quite that bad. Obviously there's a lot of sun overhead through much of this, so if you're worried about sunburn, wear some sunscreen or some long sleeves. Bridge. The bridges are of different types on here. They may be called the same kind of bridge, but the structure is what I'm seeing is different for some of them. Maybe 6 different types of structures. Some of these bridges, since this was a railroad bed, I wonder if some of these bridges were old enough that they were used for the railroad, because certainly they're very tall. And these two guys were kind of in their own world, just talking with each other, but not aware of their surroundings, and boy were they startled. wasn't going to run them down or anything. You really never guess it from the video. It just doesn't, it seems to bounce up and down. Like sometimes I see the camera, that is, seems to be really high up off the trail compared to other times. But the camera is actually mounted to the handlebars on the bike. Now, that brings us to an interesting thing. So obviously the camera is battery powered. And anytime you have something battery powered, battery life is always a concern, and certainly it's a concern with this camera. I get 50 minutes to an hour with this camera, even with their enduro, their extended life, long life, whatever it is, battery. It's supposed to last. I got a battery with the camera when I bought it, the camera that is, and it lasts about 50 minutes to an hour. And I'm like, well, that's pretty pathetic. So I bought their long life battery. It was supposed to last 40% longer, and it gives me 50 minutes to an hour. In fact, I got less than that recently, and I was less than thrilled about that. So I'm interested to see how long the battery lasts here. Now I can charge it from an external power source. No, I shouldn't say that. I can power it with an external power source while it's shooting video. My understanding is that it runs totally off the external power source in such a case and does not charge the battery at all, which is odd. But I will note that when it charges, the camera gets very hot, and when it's taking video, the camera gets very hot. We've arrived at Augusta. So it is possible it will overheat, which is already a problem with this camera. If it charges and takes video at the same time, it almost certainly would overheat. I mean, sometimes just charging, it overheats. Sometimes just taking video, it overheats. I'll see you guys in another video. Have a great day.